Welcome everyone to another episode of our Global Employability Expert Series. If this is your first time, then I'm going to explain how the webinar works. If this is more than your second time, thank you very much for being here. I'm very excited to have you here today. So let's remember a little bit about how our webinar works. So first of all, we are recording this session, and we are going to share with you later on the recordings, and you can watch it again or send it to someone else who you think may like the content. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, do so, because you will be able to see every new episode that is recorded and uploaded. You can ask any questions you want. You can ask them through the Q&A button you have. If you make any questions through the chat, we may not read them. So please make sure that your question is submitted by in the Q&A box, okay? After our after our guest makes their presentation, then we're going to have a moment where we receive all your questions by the end of the webinar. And if you have any questions regarding your personal situation during the internship, please reach out to your IEM, your Intern Experience Manager. They will be able to help you. Excellent. So without further ado, I want to introduce the topic we have for today. This is a very nice topic, and we decided to title the webinar as follows. So, finding happiness and purpose in adversity, an inspiring story about building a career that brings you fulfillment. And for this very nice topic, I have a great speaker who is going to share their story with us today. So let's meet our speaker, Julien Laurencon. Julien is French, so that's how we should pronounce his name. And let me tell you a little bit about him. So for over 15 years, Julien worked in Europe and in Asia as a consultant in strategy and transformation in Accenture, and was vice president of innovation in a private bank in Singapore. One day, he realized that the path wasn't bringing him happiness, and decided to embark on a journey that changed his life and career. He discovered new interests and decided to pursue new studies and do 2 master's degrees, one in nonprofit organization management and another one in sustainable development. Today, he is a co-founder of 3 different organizations that work in the fields of circular economy and agroecology in Argentina. And so what will he share with us today? So Julien is an entrepreneur and visionary who created a professional career that brings him happiness and makes a positive impact in the world. However, this was not a straightforward path. Actually, it was through navigating many ups and downs that he was able to discover what he wanted to do in life. In his journey, he learned that when you focus on what you like, on discovering your values and finding your purpose, you can find opportunities that align with a happy life and career, even in difficult times and contexts. In this webinar, he will share his story on how he created a fulfilling career. So I'm very excited. Thank you very much. Welcome, Julien.
Hi, happy day to everybody. How are you doing? Hi, Mirta.
Hi, Julien. I'm very happy, very excited to have you and to listen what you have to share. I know that you are very excited to share this journey you've had, right? So I'm going to leave you to tell your story, to share your secrets, and perhaps leave an inspiring message to our interns.
Hopefully.
No pressure.
Hopefully.
No pressure.
Thank you very much. First of all, I really appreciate that you invited me to share a bit of my story. And yeah, hopefully it can be useful. And really, I think the initiative of virtual internships is great. You made me discover, and really, I think it's the kind of initiative that we need is in this new era, and being able to provide this kind of opportunity to the vast majority from everywhere in the world, because I've seen that we have a lot of different parts of the world represented today in this webinar. So I want also to congratulate you guys for joining and for doing this really because well, you'll see or you'll hear probably in my story, it's about resilience, and I believe that you all have this in you. And I've seen here, I think in the chat, refugee, Syrian refugee, and then so I guess some have lived the resilience a bit stronger than others, and that's the basis, I would say, of my life story. It might not be sometimes resilient. It doesn't need to be, such a drama of losing everything. It can be sometimes an event in your life that make you realize that you're not happy, and that's a bit that's a bit the point, right? So I wanted to start sharing with you an example, and thinking about the webinar of today and the fact that you are doing an internship. I was remembering that basically a long time ago in a far galaxy, when I was
Not
young.
so long time ago. You are very young.
Well,
I think we are twice as young, right? Like we have many lives inside of us. So yeah, I don't know. We are many young people, right? We have accumulated
so
periods of very, yeah, being
I
young.
I would say if you reinvent yourself on a regular basis, basically you regenerate and you rejuvenate. I think it's the word. And I guess it's what I've done. But I've started a bit, let's say, in a tough position. Well, not in a tough position because I had everything. My parents were great. I had a great family. I have to say I never missed anything, and we had food, we had a roof, we had a very good education, and yeah, a bit some challenges, but like every family. And there, I'd say when I was 18, I started engineering school, and I didn't fit really with the system. I didn't accept the matrix. So I don't know how many of you have seen the movie, but for me, it's like a pillar, right? If you didn't see it, I really recommend that you watch it, especially the first episode. And there you see that they are living in the matrix exactly, yeah, and then you are plugged in, and they are feeding you basically the fake reality. And if you compare to today's world with Facebook or the metaverse, and then they want us to live in. So I'm not against technology, obviously, because look at what we are doing right now, and this is amazing. And I think that's a very good use of technology to bring to people really some content and not whatever, right? So. But on the other side, the system is very, to say that, is not functioning well. It was designed at the time and with a purpose, but then I think it lost its purpose. And then somehow, like us, I think a lot of us today have lost their purpose, or don't know what their purpose is. And it can be very disturbing not knowing what your purpose is, right? And I don't know if you know Viktor Frankl. He's wrote a great book that is the man in search of happiness, and basically is the founder of the logotherapy. Yeah, Viktor Frankl, exactly. And I would, sorry if I do some recommendation, but I think it's also a bit the point, that some stuff that has helped me really understanding things and working out things for myself, for my relationship with the others and the society, right? So what is saying in there is that you can't control what happens to you, but you can control the way you react to what happens to you. And I think that's also the basic. The guys survived the concentration camp during the World War and the Nazi basically era. And so he say a lot of people have the means to live, but have no meaning to live for. So starting from this point, let's say I was 18. Sorry if I go back a little bit, and I didn't want to get into this system, and so basically I spent more time trying to discover life, trying to explore, trying to do other things than studying, and well. I wouldn't say it was a mistake, because I believe my life is what it is and I am what I am, and so I wouldn't change a bit in my life, but I would not recommend to do what I've done. Well, everybody has its own way, its own path. But so after the first year, they fired me basically from the engineering school, saying, "Sorry, man, but you're a bit of a danger for yourself and for others," because I had this ability also to attract others to come with me in this dark path. So another movie that if you didn't see it, and I'm talking about the first episodes, Star Wars, and if you have to look at it every time with this view of second, third degree, right? So to understand the messages that are going behind that, the dark side, right? And the force. Yeah. So it's very powerful message, right? We are all a bit attracted by the dark side, and then we want to go there, and then we see, yeah, there is power there, maybe more power, but what is the sacrifice that I have to do to get this power? And it's a bit all about that. And then, when we're talking about sometimes radicalization, fanatism, and then we need to be very careful with that, right? And then doing your own work, homework, right? And when you see information, try to think about, okay, is it true? Can I find another source of information that confirm this? Can I find three? That's a bit the journalist way of confirming a story, right? So you should always be able to find three, and then so try to get out of the mainstream information, like CNN, Fox News, and all that. It's a lot of I won't say the word, but I think you've got it. And so there's a lot of open source today, but you should also be careful because there's a lot of fake news. So coming back to my own story, I was in this bit lost path and trying to find where am I going, and then I joined the university after that, and then
So
again
they expelled you from university, and then you went back to university.
But they expelled me from the engineering school. So
engineering school.
the
Yeah,
engineering school, and
that's
then
a different thing.
and then you have the university.
Okay.
So I managed to, because I had the grades. So they expelled me not for the grades. That what he told me.
Yeah, but
basically
because you were a little bit, well, like you said, like you thought there were other ways to do that, and like the system didn't work for you. So they said, okay, hey, nice to meet you, but you are not welcome here anymore. And so you said, I'm going to university.
Exactly. And then basically said the problem is not the intelligence. The problem is that somehow you don't fit. And well, okay, fine, I don't fit. So I went to the to the university. But there again, so the first year was okay, just but okay, and then in the license level, I missed 2 times. So again, that was a well, I don't like the word failure, because I don't think there's any kind of failure in life. There's experience. So you have experience, you do you experiments, and the worst thing that you can do is not doing. So again, not deciding is the worst decision that you can make, because it is a decision. So I've always kind of decided in my life to do stuff, and I've always owned my actions and the consequences también. Also, sorry, sorry, because I'm in Argentina, and I'm speaking Spanish every day, all the day. So my English sometimes switch to Spanish, because in my brain it's connected like that right now. But so let's say I'm going to the point where it plug with what you guys are doing right now. It's like, I remember, so at this time when I did the license, I started an internship in a company, and there I met a mentor. Basically, the guy was a commercial or sales director. And I started to work with him on a project. I was doing some Excel stuff.
And so what did you study at university?
I was in management.
Management, okay.
Basically, yeah, management. Yeah. Before that, it was engineering and in telecommunication.
Yeah, okay.
And then I went to management, because I thought that was more my core, let's say. And in there, I think in the first year, I found this internship, and I started there, and then I had this amazing connection with my mentor, and I found some way that I was much more attracted by the how do you say that, the working, not studying, basically. So I directly liked working and be productive somehow, right? Without being a machine. And I was doing some interesting stuff in projects, talking with, I was the interface between the guys from the business and the guys from the IT that don't really speak the same language. It's very complicated, you know. Oh no, I want the thing with this little shiny blue, and the other one is, no, sorry, it's a 0 or 1. Yeah. So there's a big discrepancy most of the time between the technical guys that say, no, it's not possible, and the other one say everything is possible. So how do you match those words? And there I started this relationship with my mentor, and basically, even though I failed, or I made those experiences where I was not successful by the common sense, and the guy still believed in me. He offered me another opportunity, and then he said, okay, we're gonna keep you for the whole year, and you're gonna come 1 day per week, and basically we're gonna even pay you the trip and kind of thing. So I believe that this, even though I was doing a bit of crazy stuff, and I was out of the common path, this was my hook, right? So I stayed hooked somehow through this internship, that then converted into, when I said, oh, you know, I'm going to stop studying. That's it. I'm over. I'm done with that. It's useless. And then he said to me, nah, man, you're stupid. Don't do that. You're going to regret it later on in your life. So he said, look, you find internship, how do you say that, when you mix classes and internship, so you're doing 2 days per week in
I believe that's a very French program at university, where you can study and do some professional work. It doesn't exist in my country, in Argentina, but it exists in France, and that's a great option, right? Because you had university and work. Yeah.
Exactly. So he said, find a program like that where you do like part-time school, part-time work, and I found this program, and it was about international sales and business, and I was doing 2 days in school and 3 days at work. And it was great. Well, I had to suffer a bit because I was in Paris at that time, and the school was on the other side of Paris, and I had to take one train, another another bus, walk 15 minutes. It was like an hour and 45 minutes to go to the school, and the teachers at the end, I graduated with a very good grade, but the comment was, excellent student, but is sleeping a little bit too much in the classroom. So yeah, sometimes I was exhausted, and then once a week I used to fly to the plant, because I was in the sales direction, I would say, and then I was going to the production plant where the IT guys were, and so it was crazy. I was 20, and I flew planes. I had rental cars, and I was on expenses and this kind of stuff. It was nothing. They were paying me just the minimum, but it was great. I was earning some money through my work, and so this combination, right, got me back on track. And at certain point, my parents just kept the relationship with me, saying, sorry, we can't accompany you in this path. If you continue to do those things, a bit crazy things, and I was a bit lying at the time, I have to admit. So I was in this difficult situation, let's say. But at the same time, I had this hook. So this got me to come back, and also when they proposed me to do this stuff, I reconnected with my father, because he was in the same city as the company. So I went back to live with him, and there we reconnected, and that put me on another path. So basically, I graduated, then I found a good job, and in something that I liked, really. I was doing project management in what I told you, like the interface between business and IT. And then I did some years doing that, and I wanted to, one day I've seen some McKinsey consultant. I don't know if you know, McKinsey is one of the biggest consulting company in the world, and they're doing strategy. What is the new strategy of the company? So I say, wow, that's what I want to do. That's who I want to be. And well, I said, okay, so what is the best IT consulting company in the world? And it was Accenture, and I think it still is. Accenture is a very big consulting company and outsourcing in technology, and also strategy, right? So I said, okay, I'm gonna go and present myself over there, and then they rejected me. So saying, yeah, man, you have a good experience, but you don't have the right diploma. Ah, really? So I said, okay, what diploma do I need? I went back to my company, and I said, well, I want to do this master in enterprise architecture. And so basically, it's understanding the business, the processes, then how it's automated through applications, and then implemented in physical infrastructure with servers and stuff like that. And I did that. And then I went back to Accenture, and I said, oh, welcome. So again, coming back to studying, I think is fundamental. I truly believe in lifelong learning. For me, it's essential, right? If you don't know, or you want to start something else, something new, go back to studying. Don't listen to listen to everything they say, but then find out for yourself, right? Investigate, explore, and you have so many sources available. You don't just have the library today, and you have to have the card and stuff like that, right? But it depends in some part of the world, but today it's broadly accessible, the internet, even though there is a lot of garbage that you have to filter. But if you do the exercise, you can reach the information, you can access to knowledge. And that's amazing. And I think that's the power that you have in your hands. And so never let them tell you that it's not possible. It is possible. It is always possible. And I really, I believe in that. I know that some situations are much more complicated than others. But again, coming back to Viktor Frankl, do the best out of what you have. So, well, doing that, I've done my path, and I've joined Accenture, and I was like, yeah, and I want to work in banking because, well, that's where the money is, right? Show me the money. And so I joined Accenture. They sent me to the bank in Brussels, and it was 2008. So basically, the financial crisis. So first, I have to say that when I decided I graduated and decided to join the IT, let's say, world, it was the 2000. So it was the internet bubble exploded. So always done the best choices in my life at the right time.
So basically, your career development, every time you said, okay, this is my time, I'm going to work. And then that area you wanted to work was like, well, not so successful anymore. And so that's quite interesting. You got always like waving, like surfing the wave or going into the wave.
It's exactly that. But I think really, sometimes they say, well, it's never the right moment. Well, so it's always the right moment. There's no wrong moment. It's your moment. You define when it's the right moment. So if you believe in that, if you go with that, well, maybe it can be a bit tricky or whatever, but with vision, conviction, resilience, determination, like well, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there, or maybe in the past you're gonna find something different. But set a goal for yourself. I'm sorry that I'm preaching, and it's like do what you feel is the right thing for you, right? But I'd say I've done that. I've set goals for myself, and then I've worked towards it. And many times I've changed paths on the way, but getting that vision, that in mind, that gave me a purpose. And then I think now we can talk a little bit about that. Going to
going back to your story. Yeah. So tell me, I want to get to the point. So you went into banking, you became really successful, right? Then you were sent to Singapore, you were doing amazing things, earning a lot of money. And what happened?
Very good question. So yeah, I worked for like more than 10 banks between Europe and Asia. I was doing strategy and transformation for worldwide programs. And then I transferred to Singapore office with Accenture. I was earning like $20,000 months. I was about to get married with a Russian model that I met in Bali Island. And we bought the rings in Paris, and then we booked the castle in France to get married. So like the movie, but so one day I woke up and I realized, oh man, but I'm not really happy. That was hard. That's why quite hard. I enjoyed a lot all this this part of my life, and then I can't say that I didn't enjoy it, but I realized that what they sold to me, and when you in Matrix, you take the blue or the pink pill, and I think really at that time I had no idea, right? I said I'm gonna do what they are expecting from me. but I was not doing what I wanted to do for myself. And so I said, well, I can't do that anymore. And I went to Bali Island, and I did a silent retreat for 10 days. And there it was very impactful, very impactful. I quite some emotion because this moment, I was doing a guided meditation, and I re-encountered my inner child. I'd lost touch with him. I got out of touch with him, and he's like, oh, how can it be, man? This little me that came to see me and gave me the hand and say it's okay. And there, well, I don't know, some weight got out of my shoulders. I started to cry big time, and he said, well, maybe it's time to change path. Or like, and he went, he left. I was like, oh, well, come back. What path are you talking about? I've tried not getting into the matrix, and then I did the success way of the consumer society, and then so what do I have left? Then on the next day, I was I was in the library, lost in silence with my own thoughts, and I was, what am I going to do now? And I got a book in the library, and it's like Conspiracy of the Universe, right? Not the title of the book, but what happened. And the book was the conversation with the Dalai Lama. I started to read that, and I went to some. It was very straightforward but deep, and I got stuck in the compassion, like the concept, and there I said, okay, boom, got a flash in my mind. This chapter of my life is over, and no, I'm going to write a new chapter, and the title will be The Way of the Compassion. And I had no idea what I was going to write in this chapter, but I say, okay, I go back to Singapore. I went to see my boss, a Korean guy, kind of crazy, and I was suffering quite a lot with this guy, and I said, look, you know what? I think you make me sick. You, the bank, the system. I'm leaving. And I resigned. And it's like, wow. I think, are you crazy? And, I negotiated, obviously, my transition, but I left. And basically, it's where the tipping point. What do I do now? So it's scary, but it's super exciting, and that's why I believe that. We all have this opportunity, and not once, every single time that we make a decision. And yeah, that was bold, and at the same time, it was like, well, man, what do I have to lose? And let's find out what life still have for me. And so basically, I'm going to tell you just one little thing that's going to show you how the matrix can be tricky, because just when I was about to leave Singapore, they realized that my boss was a fake, and so they fired him. And then the world boss called me in to say, well, look, we know that you're leaving, and we are very sorry about that. And then we understood that your boss was not really the person that we believed he was, and so yeah, we want to offer you his position. Wow, man. So it meant a better title, more money, and everything. And then I said, well, okay, let me think about it. I won't lie. I didn't say no. And I slept on it. And the next day I came back and I said, thank you, but no thank you. And I left. And there, I've started.
That's a wonderful phrase. Thank you, but no thank you. That's really nice.
Exactly. And then, well, the power of saying no. And then I think that some things, if you get a bit of an outcome of my story, is like the power of saying no, and the power of saying now. So it's my moment. I decide the fact that it's my moment, and so I'm gonna put things in motion for that to happen, and I think that's what I've done. So I left.
And so, Julien, I want to get to the very interesting point where you left what you had.
The rest was not interesting.
It was super interesting, super interesting. But what comes, because I know your story and something that really is like mind blowing. So what happened then and what you're doing now? Because that's when I see like, wow, this has been a really life-changing experience for you.
True. So I basically did a trip, 18 countries in a year. I reconnected with some friends, some family that I was working like crazy before, and even that today I'm working like crazy, but it's a totally different story. Because then I came to Argentina. I was not speaking a word of Spanish, and I started to do volunteering with some NGOs. And going in the streets of Buenos Aires to give a coffee to people living in the street. And I started to realize, well, it's like in the movie, right? When you unplug from the matrix, you start to see the reality beyond the matrix. And the reality is tough. The reality is tough. Some of you are living it right now. Maybe most of you are living it right now. The reality is super tough. So when you don't just suck on the thing that they are giving you, and they say, oh yeah, you know, it's all good. So, well, I started to grow a conscience, I believe, and say, well, man, there's so many things to do. What is my contribution to the world? What is my contribution, without being like, you know, infatuous or I don't know, but my little sound grain, my little drop in the ocean of our world, and I started to be preoccupied by the social aspect and the environmental aspect and ecology, and then started to realize that we are doing whatever, or there we are destroying our home, and also our relationship between us, between human beings, is deteriorating badly. And so I said, well, man, no, well, okay, I didn't know anything about social and environment. So what did I do? I came back to school. So that's where I met Mirta.
I think we could say, when in doubt, go to school. That's like a nice phrase to say it. And I like it because you learned a lot at university. And what did you study this time?
Yeah,
because you studied many times, but this time you studied.
Yeah, so it's like a reconversion, right? So if you want to change, well, you have all the tools available. So what you're doing right now, for example, is a super tool, and so you take it like that. Say, well, I don't know something, but I'm going to learn about it. And now I think obviously sometimes you don't have access maybe to the university or that, but you have the internet. So coming back to that, you can do online courses like this one. You can read. And I know today is more like a video stuff, but it's also good. Look on YouTube, again, filter, because you have a lot of crap. But there is a lot of good content that can enable you to reconvert. And so that's what I did. I went to a postgrad about NGO management, where I met Mirta, and she helped me a lot at the beginning because my Spanish was not that good, and she speaks super French and super English. So and there I also studied a postgrad in environment management and sustainable development. And then, as I'm a bit like how to say that, full of energy. I've started to work in an NGO dedicated to disabled people to insert in the work environment, working with deaf people and then blind people. And then I've started to create my first startup about agroecology, because I thought, oh, that's a great solution, right? And then I went on like that, and I discovered the blue economy concept. Is based on biomimicry. It's basically saying, well, look, the nature has solved it a long time ago already. So why are we complicating ourselves? And so we should stop having the nature produce as we want, but coming back to produce as nature does. And basically the point is to reuse waste from a productive process to be the raw material for a new productive process. So that's what I'm doing now. And so you could say I went from vice president of a bank in Singapore to growing larvae in Singapore, insects, basically, because that's what we are doing right now.
So you basically work with insects, with worms, not worms, but little things, right?
Larvae, yeah. It's a fly, black soldier fly. And so its larvae is super efficient at the moment. So it's what it's doing in nature. So in nature, you have a recycling organism, and insects are one, mushrooms are another one. And what they do is that they take the dead stuff and they process it and they transform it to new nutrients for life. And so it's devolving life to the natural cycle. And then what we are doing today is more killing life, killing biodiversity. It's really I don't like to be oh, it's all dark, it's all bar. But we are in a critical situation. Yeah, it's true. But then what are we doing to change that? So I believe, again, coming back to what you can do, is that what is my contribution? What am I doing from my place, from what I can do, with my abilities, to contribute, to participate? And it's not everybody has to change the world, and it's not necessarily your role to change the whole world, but drop by drop. And I've seen some comments. Yeah, right. The ocean is this, and it's the society we are living in. We're just little drops, and we do a little bit of ripples. And so I'm going to finish with that a metaphor about how I see life. And the older I grow, the simpler I see things. So when they ask me, yeah, man, but what's the purpose of life? And my answer is like, living it. I think it's as simple as that for me now. And so again, what is the thing that you love most in life? I'd say life itself, because hey man, we are lucky. We are alive. And if we are alive, it means we have possibilities. We can be stuck. We can be in a very difficult situation. But I've seen some people reborn, really. And I think resiliency is about that. And we all have that inside. The seed is there. So just go back to that, get the strength, and get out. So my metaphor about life is a bit the ocean. I always love that. And then life is like the ocean, a succession of waves. And you're there, you're surfing the wave, and then you're cool, and you're in the tube, right? But the thing that you've forgotten is that most of the time, always the wave breaks, and you're not Kelly Slater all of the time, right? So the wave breaks on your head, and basically it gets you down in the washing machine, we say, deep in the water, and maybe you're going to go to the bottom of the ocean, and maybe you're going to scratch your face on the coral, and it's going to give you some scars, and there two options. And I've seen two people. Obviously, there are always more than two options, but to simplify, right? People who say, well, I give up, and then, well, they're dead. And then they're walking dead. Nothing to do with the Sari, but you see people that they've lost it. They've lost the spark, and they're still there living, but dead inside. Second type of person say, well, look, man, the ground is there. I can use it as opportunity, and I'm gonna push on the ground, and I'm gonna swim like crazy, right? Maybe I don't make it. Maybe I drown, but at least I will be drowning trying, or dying trying. And then if you keep in mind that there is always another wave coming, and that you can get this wave when you got back to the surface, and this wave might be higher, might be even better. You're gonna get more speed until it's the last wave. And I want to keep surfing until it's the last wave. And like the last one recommendation, Point Break. It's kind of already old movies because I'm not that young, but look at that movie. At the end, the guy, you can think what you want about the guy, but the guy is going for the wave that comes only every 50 years, and he knows he's not going to come. He's going to surf it, and it's so big, so high that it's going to die, but he's going to die surfing it. And we all know we're going to die. It's just that the only certainty we have in life. So, well, go for it. Go for it. Enjoy the journey. And if you keep that in mind, and that you can always come back, or at least have the pleasure of ending this amazing opportunity that we have trying, go for it.
Wow, that's very inspiring. You've said so many interesting things. Before we wrap up, we have some questions that I would like to ask you because our participants were thinking and reflecting a lot. One very important question is, what are the things that motivate you to succeed? We mentioned some, right? But what was that?
Would you say in the first part of my life, or in the
I
new
would say
chapter?
now that you are doing things that you like, that you enjoy. How is it? Where you find your motivation?
Well, not in the money. So when I've stopped thinking about that, and then there's a good phrase that is saying, like, when I've started to understand that the only thing that I'm going to keep with me when I'm leaving is the stuff that I've lived. I've started to leave the stuff that I wanted to leave, and so no, I'm doing what I want, what makes me happy. I said this thing when I left the bank. I said, I will never again work with someone I don't like. And so that's my base rule. So you can, because we know we are raising money, we've done a $200,000 fundraising last year, and I'm closing now a 1.5 million fundraising with angel investors and venture capital to grow the startup that we have with the insects. But I don't want your money if you're not a good person, if we don't fit. And so put your rules, and I put mine. And well, sometimes I miss opportunities, and I don't want to do stuff that I don't like. And sometimes I have to, obviously, I'm not a fundamentalist, and again, be careful about that, right? Don't become a fundamentalist or extremist about whatever. as I keep on an open mind, because people that have a point of view very different from yours, it's always good to listen. And I take stuff from one another, yeah, and then do it your way.
I have a very question regarding that. Someone asks, what should you do with those people who criticize you?
I listen to them. I listen to them because it's very interesting. I believe the worst that can happen is that you're surrounded with people who say, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you're right. You're right. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's like yes, yeah. Wow, it's useless. Well, okay, sometimes you can, well, you can be right, and then but the best thing is like listening to the criticism, and then sometimes there is good stuff that you can take from there and say, oh, I can improve, because yeah, they're right. This might not be good, or I could improve, change it, and then you drop the thing that you believe is not relevant, and saying, well, you're saying it from hatred, sorry, but it's not constructive. I tend to listen really to people who are constructive. You can always criticize, and I am the first one to criticize everything and to put in doubt everything. There's this one sentence that I like. Let's say, I prefer having answers that can't, that questions that can't be answered, than having answers that can't be questioned.
That's nice. Yeah. Okay. So what I like about your story is that many of us, I include myself, this is a personal reflection, have this idea of how success should look like, right? We have all this influence, we have TV, we have movie, we have reality shows, and we all get this information that the idea of what being successful is, right? And that usually means earning a lot of money, having a very successful job, like living the big life. Well,
Yep.
that may be a way to success for some people. I'm not going to say that's wrong. Okay. Some people may do that and they may feel happy. And I think that's valid. But that's not the only way to be happy, right? And to find fulfillment. Because what may happen is that as it happened to you, you got there and you said, hey, this is a scam. I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel happy. I don't feel like I want to wake up and do things. What happened? And then we may get caught in the trap of that doing what we're supposed to do will bring us that joy. It may not happen. If it happens, then awesome. That's great because you did it and you're happy. What I'm saying is it's okay to have different path from what we're supposed to do according to whom, right? So in this case, I like that you reconverted yourself so many times, right? That you didn't get stuck with an idea of what you should be and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to explore all these different versions of me, because you had your version very successful in banking and all that. And then you said, you know what? I need to update myself. I like a software, like let's go to the new version. And my new version is different. And I'm learning so much. And now then I said, okay, you know, I still feel this is not for me. Let's reinvent myself. And something interesting you said, always go back to school, follow your values, be resilient. And I think that's a really also good message, because if we're a little bit perfectionists, we may have in our heads like all these deadlines, right? By 25, I need to have this job. By 30, I need to shout. Yeah. And that's not useful. And then we are comparing ourselves all the time to other people. And then we said, hey, no, I want to compare to myself. Am I happier? Am I better than my old self? And also, like if someone asked, like, how old were you when you did all these changes? And I think we could say different ages, right? Someone you were younger, and I believe probably you will continue growing and reinventing. But now you're doing that with the sense of purpose that you said, you know what? I discovered that what I do is this. I want to contribute to the world by also using all your knowledge, because you're using everything you learned, right? All your business thinking and everything you learned from banking. Now you are in a position where you say, you know what, I can raise capital because I did that. So you're using all your experience and knowledge. And I think that's a beautiful message. So do we have any last question? Well, someone says, I'd get from you, Mr. Julien, that working with and for nature is what motivates you.
That's very, I've seen it, and thanks, Ahmed, and right, yeah, sure, but also with other human beings, and what you said, Mirta, I think is totally true to the core, and there's this quote from Hemingway that says, ensure that your dreams are big enough not to lose sight when you follow them. So dream big, dream like if there were no limits. Money is not a limit, knowledge is not a limit. I've reinvented myself, as you said, many times, and I will continue to do that. So I have some cycles like that. I'm pretty sure, like in 5 years or something like that, I will jump to something else. I really want to generate a systemic change, and most probably I will have to go in some kind of public policies and to change the really the rules that are of the matrix, right? So again, thinking about that, how do I change the thing? I overcome the guy? I jump in, but be careful not losing your identity. And when for doing that, first you have to find what is your identity, and I would say you have to rediscover what your identity is and reconnecting with your inner self, because that's where it comes from. The answer is inside. So I can tell you, because I've done it, right? At least for me, you know, I've been on the other side of the world, and then on the other side of the world, and looking for happiness, a bit like the movie, right? But at the end, happiness is within. So that's where or at least that's where I found it. And then when you're happy with yourself, when you're aligned, when you're in harmony with yourself, and it's not egocentric thinking, it's man, first I need to love myself. And once I love myself, I can love the others. I can love the planet. I can love the universe. And then not being in a conquest mode and in a what I'm going to win, I'm going to win over him or her. And then, no, well, we're going to achieve things together. And there, it's really the message for me. If you find your happiness, you'll be able to share this happiness with the others.
Well, Julien, that's a beautiful, beautiful message. I thank you so much for being here today. I loved listening to your story. I believe our participants are very inspired as well. I'm reading very beautiful messages. So thank you, everyone. How can we stay in touch with you? I'm going to share how we can connect with Julien. If you want to find him, you can meet him. You can find him on LinkedIn, Julien Laurencon, that's his name. You have it there. We're going to share these slides. And so thank you very much, Julien, for being here today. It's been a pleasure. And for all our participants, we are going to share with you this webinar so you can share it with someone else. And I hope you really enjoyed this talk as much as I did.
Yeah, really. Thanks a lot, Mirta, for inviting me. Thanks everybody for listening and and asking questions. I think the interactive is always great. And really, I wish you all the best. Not luck, because you're going to make your future happen. So see you guys.
Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Hey, cheers.